Hey, welcome to the table. Pull up a chair. It's Dr. Paula again, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your why. Okay. Oftentimes with clients, I talk to them about different things and different goals and different wants and different desires that they have, and different reasons why they feel like they're stuck within a situation, or that they want to stay in a relationship even though the relationship doesn't serve them. Right. One of the questions I often ask them is this: what is your why for wanting to stay in that relationship? What is your why for being afraid to set boundaries for yourself? What is your why for not taking the time to take care of you and focusing on other people? Oftentimes the answer to that question, what is your why, is a determining factor of, how you proceed in life, how you face challenges, how you take care of yourself, how you just deal with anything that comes across your path, right? For me, I often ask myself that question too. Like when I want to start something new, or when I'm thinking of something or have an idea about something, I have to think about what my why is. For example, when I was trying to decide whether or not I was going to embark in the YouTube videos, or even embark on social media, I had to really analyze, well, what is my why for that, right? I'm not here to make all kinds of money or anything like that, but my why is suited to my purpose. My purpose on earth is to help people in the best way that I know how, and it doesn't matter if they have money or not. So the solution I found for that was, okay, create these videos that are kind of educational, conversational, and just relatable, that people who can't afford to go to therapy, they can access it and they can see it on their leisure, and I sometimes give some recommendations about journaling and reflecting on things. And I'm hopeful that as I make these videos, that people will take something from it or from them, and I'm hopeful that they are taking some time to really think about just what their why is for whatever it is they choose to do, or whatever they choose not to do, because there's always going to be a reason why you choose to do something and to choose not to do something. So in understanding what your why is, it will give you direction. Okay, it would also give you a sense of purpose if you feel like you have no purpose or no direction right now. And I face a lot of clients sometimes who feel like they don't know what their purpose is, especially after they've retired, or their kids have left and gone home, or they've lost a job, or just trying to decide, or just embarking on their lives for the first time after graduating high school, or even just starting college for the first time. The key thing is to know that, one, you don't have to know the answer right away, but you can get some sense of it based off what you choose to do as you get to defining and determining what your why is. But the key thing is knowing what that why is, and it's it's very empowering, and it's very freeing. That's the word I was looking for. It's very freeing to understand what your why is, and that's always, always, always one of the first questions I ask, because oftentimes people have a lot of reasons for certain things, but they don't really know how to explain the why behind the reasons. And my job is to kind of help them figure that out too, and as you go across life, you question a lot of things when you're driving home. Why did so and so cut me off? And or why did so and so not answer my text, or leave me on red? I'm learning these things from the young clients that I have, leaving you on red, and just not liking certain things. And you wonder, well, why is that so important to them? Why is that such an important factor of their lives, a determining factor to some extent? Because some people, if they cannot get the answer to the why, or find a reason why so and so did something, or why they didn't get a job, or why they can't take a trip, or why their lives are the way they are, it can really cripple them emotionally, right? And a lot of times, because of that, they develop negative coping mechanisms, or they become defensive, and that's the way they start to move through the world, even though they are trying to seek comfort and care and understanding from other people. And so they don't learn how to ask for the help that they need, because they assume certain things before anything even happens, and that ties into like the overthinking as well. Understanding that why for yourself is key. And I would like you to sit with that for a moment and just process for yourself. Just think of a certain situation, a certain scenario in your life in which you are faced with something, a decision that you have to make, or a feeling that you have in a certain moment of time. And ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Why does so and so's reaction to what I say impact me so much? Why am I afraid to let go of the people who don't serve me? Why am I willing to carry the burdens of others on my own shoulders when I can't even carry my own by myself? Why do I continue pouring my cup out for others without getting refilled? If you take some time to really think about that, and I would highly recommend journaling about that too, because the writing process will unlock different layers of your brain that will release some of that information for you subconsciously from your subconscious. And let it sit for a moment after you've written it. Like, go do something else for a while, then come back and read it again, and you might see some things that would surprise you, or you might see some things that don't surprise you. But more often than not, you'll find some things that were buried so deeply within you that show up on the page, and that could help clarify your why, and hopefully it is helpful to you. And don't be afraid to ask those questions either. When you have a close relationship with someone, you should be able to talk to them. You should be able to have open and honest communication with them. And if you don't have that, then you might have to reflect on the relationship and why you are still in that relationship. If you are continuing to kind of talk with someone and be around people who don't serve you, who don't fill you up, who cannot give you straight answers. Sometimes it's rooted in fear. Sometimes the fear is rooted in abandonment and rejection that you've experienced before. And just thinking about that for a moment will give you a chance to kind of process some of those things and maybe make connections to the past when you were younger and when that first showed up in your life, that resistance to change, maybe the resistance to setting those boundaries, the desire to kind of maybe people please with others. I was talking with a client the other day, and she was talking about how, in the past she was abandoned and she felt rejected due to that abandonment by someone who was very close to her. And that has informed her relationships moving forward. And, and after some processing, we got to the point of she continues to hold on to people because she fears being abandoned and rejected. And that's a hard place to be. And then, it caused her to reevaluate herself and be like, well, what is really going on with me? The key thing in understanding those relationships and understanding your why is to focus on yourself. Don't look at the external. Try to look at the internal as you do that. Okay? I hope this resonates with you. If you like it, go ahead and share it and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time. Okay? Don't forget to take some time for yourself today and just reflect, or just do something you love to do, not because someone wants you to do it or someone told you to do it, but because you want to do it.